welcome back everyone to the LEC and the match of the week between Team Heretics and Koi. Now, yesterday Heretics suffered their first loss of the split, and it started right with their early game planning. I want to use this time right now to do a little bit of maybe a VoD review session of what we saw yesterday between Team Heretics and between XL, specifically between the junglers as well. So to go into it in the beginning, as you can see right now, on the side of XL, Peach has cleared all his jungle camps, where Jankos is still on the red side. Crucially, there's also a ward right around the area, as you can see, and Jankos is going to be smart. He's going to dash over the wall. Now, critically, while Jankos is spending a lot of time to get ahead in the early game because they need to get this gank off, he's not in a position where he's actually able to clear camps. But luckily for Team Heretics, they get the first kill. They get the first blood. That is great. Now, on the top side instead, Aphelios has been a bit in a skirmish here, and he did still have the teleport. We're in a position where he is against the Maokai that's full clearing, and he's dying to death. It's not the best scenario, and it is a bit of a mistake for Aphelios, but it's a 1-for-1 in kills. Now, the real problem comes of the jungle rubber banding and the experience we're getting right now, because Peach has been super efficient. He's full cleared, so he's already ahead of Jankos. And speaking of Jankos, you can see it now. He tried to go back into the bot side, did pick up one camp, but he's still missing his Wolf. He's still missing his Grump. So he's heavily behind in experience. And even coming back to the Raptors, he only gets a few of the small one. That gets us into a situation now where Peach, later towards the game, where we are after Drake, he's actually a level up on Jankos. Not only that, after this situation, possibly the most unlucky thing I have seen happens for Heretics. Now, Heretics actually have really good planning. So they got that lead in the early game where they got the first blood. That means that they need to accelerate the game, specifically with the draft that they have. What did they do now to accelerate it? Well, they have tempo advantage in mid lane that has a push, so he can move into the jungle to create a play. Bot lane is also around to get the push, while the members of XL are still in base. So it's looking super ideal for Heretics right now. So what could go wrong? Well, you see that sapling in the bush right there? You may see the most unlucky thing right now. We didn't see this on broadcast yesterday. I only saw this because I had to review it. That crap went over to Peach. He's now level 6. Heretics haven't seen Peach actually hit level 6 right now. They're still committing to a good play right now. They're having prio. They're going for an invade. Now they see Peach. He's level 6. So Jankos is like, okay, let me get the red buff. Let me get out of here. But the problem is, because of the experience disadvantage that they put themselves in, because Jankos had to be a facilitator in the early game, some of the fighting they're reaching now with the windows where they're committing plays is suddenly biting them in the back. Also, Mersa committing to a play now is definitely not what you wanted to see. So I just wanted to highlight what you need to get ahead when you go for these early ganks and what you need to be careful of. In this situation, it was a bit of an unlucky situation for Team Heretics, but either way, they're looking to bounce back in our match of the week between Koi today.
So in the case of Heretics and what we just saw there, do you think it was more a case of them being unlucky that they lost, or do you think it was really that they underestimated XL?
I think one thing is Aphelios made a big mistake. That is one thing to take into account. I think the planning was good for Team Heretics, but the problem that comes down there is that you need to be able to adapt quickly on the fly and say, you know what, he's level 6. We got the red buff, we need to dip. We got what we wanted. Unfortunately, they had the miscommunication you see with Mersa, and that happens sometimes. And when that happens, I mean, sometimes it's just kind of an FF situation when you just throw away the lead that you needed to get going, specifically with the draft that they had.
Well, luckily for Heretics, they did have a 3-0 week 1, which means that in a way they have some space to play with. They can actually maybe risk a loss or two. Koi, however, they cannot. They have been, in 2023, at 4-5 record in the regular season, twice 7th place. And so summer is really where every game does count for them. And don't forget, this is the team that lifted the trophy in Malmo. Not only that, but if Fnatic makes a deep run, Koi could be on the verge of missing season finals. This is an unbelievable situation for Koi to be in, Broxah.
Yeah, I think, you know, there's just something wrong with Koi and regular split this year. I don't really know exactly what it is. We see it now as well that, like you said, we have so high expectations for them. We want to see them at the top. We feel like they should be at the top, but things are just not clicking at the moment. Szygenda, I feel like, is the only one who's actually played you know, as well as we would expect of all these players. Mid jungle hasn't been looking particularly impressive. Bot lane still needs a bit of time, so get the synergy going and get rolling. And yeah, they have work to do, a lot of work.
Yeah, I mean, you can see it with the championship points. While they are sitting comfortably right now in terms of making it, if everything stayed the same to the season finals, it's just not going to stay the case as well, right? New teams are going to come in, and we've already seen it from the bottom teams, how they're fighting back. A team like Fnatic that could be counted out suddenly can make an explosive run as well as really change up the tables if they were to take it all the way. So I think for Koi, there's really no more room for mistakes. You need to make it to group stage if you want to continue to have it in your own hands, your destiny, in terms of making it to the season finals.
What I would love to see from them now, the next step would be someone has to be proactive in the early game that is not Malrang, because up until now, and the reason they were so good last year was that Malrang was just dominating, including in the final in Malmö. And if he's not having a good period of time, if he's struggling, all players do here and there, someone else have to take the reins, take control of the early game and push them forward. And now, without Trumby, without Odo Amne, who's going to be the shot caller even if they do generate the leads? There's certain question marks, and we'll see if they can actually find solutions to these potential problems.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really interesting 2v2 in that bot lane, because Flakked, we know that he's going to be wanting to go all guns blazing in that early game, and Comp is going to want to slow things down and scale into it. So I'm definitely intrigued to see how the draft goes. So without further ado, it is time for the Spanish derby, a clash of two massive fan bases. It's Koi versus Team Heretics in our LG Ultra Gear match of the week.
Kicking off week 2, Spain's El Clasico meets match of the week with an undefeated Heretics going head-to-head with our reigning summer champions, Koi. After a disappointing winter and spring, Heretics have shown here in summer that they are not to be taken lightly. With Vetheo and Flakked coming in, they look reinvigorated and poised to take down their Spanish rivals, becoming a major player in the league.
1, 2, 3,
I know there's like a lot of rivalry between Heretics and Koi. It's gonna be like a match full of emotions and like really banger match.
Got one more E if he can get away for the stun, the CC. Mersa surviving, the Szygenda diving in. Heavy Undying Mage still available to him. He's looking for the dive, the redemption coming out, but he can just dive these towers for years. Super minions so ready.
Ruby, you got a TP! Ruby, you got a TP!
TPing in. Ebby has no Undying Mage. The tower dies. Ruby can't get there in time, and you can take the Baron Heretics, because Koi will take the win.
Koi, on the other hand, have been looking to ignite the spark again that won them the trophy last summer.
I have definitely not performed to the expectations I have for myself, so I really want to step it up for the upcoming weeks, because this is definitely not the performance I want to show for the rest of the summer.
Comp is trying to even out the score. Comp cleanses away the dash in from limit. Patrick trying to flash out as well, but Comp has already taken them out. Comp with 2 more.
Really clutching up alongside Szygenda.
The pride of Spain is not the only thing that's on the line here. The one Spanish player in this matchup has his own reasons for wanting to take down Koi.
Give it to Comp! It's a pentakill! Who are your champions?
I think it's really good if we can keep the momentum, because especially I don't think we are like the strongest team. I think we played good, but we still like need to improve on like so many things. There's no time to like just relax, get comfortable. It's now actually when we need to like work the most.
Goes Flakked looking for an opportunity on the backside. Flakked on a rampage. Flakked wants to try and turn it, but she might be too damn strong. Exit kick. They finally killed him. Zeri is down.
Heretics are definitely performing better than they have been last 2 splits. I think Flakked definitely brings a lot to the team. He's always just this type of guy that he will always be confident. In my point of view, helping everyone with his confidence, so everyone just steps it up.
With this match, we crest the halfway point of the regular season, and a win here will go a long way to securing groups.
But in the end, I think it will come up to who are the strongest laners, because I think both junglers really match as well with how good the laners play.
They were always kind of like relying on Comp being ahead. So I think against Koi is gonna be whoever bot lane is ahead is gonna probably like take over the entire game.
I have one more question for you. Why didn't you hit the Nexus?
Oh my god. Okay, the thing is...
Damn. Nice petty question. Poignant question. We talked about it on Euphoria. Go check that episode out if you want to hear about why Flakked didn't hit the Nexus. Safe to say it was a debatable call.
Subtle plug, I like it.
Subtle. Yeah. gotta bump those numbers. Straight to the moon.
It's a great episode.
Thank you.
Those two are
entirely
very
because of
energetic.
Flakked and Jankos.
They always come with a lot of energy.
I'm Drakos, that's Vedius, by the way, in case you don't know who we are. We are here to cast this Spanish rivalry, and we're moments away from picks and bans. Let's get into it. Again, just bringing the world together.
That's what cats do, man. Everyone.
To be fair, it's not a very based take at this point. It is true, but it is not based.
Yeah.
There it is, though. Still makes the people happy. Just goes to show, you know?
Xayah hitting the ban board, though. We've been seeing a lot of successful Xayah players so far in the LEC. I think that she bridges that gap quite nicely between early game, mid, and late. Obviously, we've been seeing a lot of team fighting, so it does make a lot of sense that she's a very powerful champion. But along with the Yuumi being banned, Melio, of course, to answer does mean that things like the Maokai, Aphelios, Cassante, many of the other Bow picks, like Nico as well, all up and available.
Yeah, and with a lot of the enchanters taking off the board that can keep an AD carry safe, one of the safest AD carries in her own right, and the Xayah going to be a lot easier to target these bottom lanes if they want to. Maybe we get to see aggressive engage support. Ooh, my favorite thing personally.
Calm down, sir.
They said in the video, they said bot lane important, could be a bot gap. That's how, you know, we're going to try to make some
It's going to be Rakan, and you know it's going to be Rakan.
But you know what? I'll take Rakan.
Yeah, he's fun. Poppy. Oh, that's not a Rakan. I don't know what is. It's likely going to be the Maokai first pick here for Heretics. And the response from Core, you would expect potentially to prioritize the Rakan. They don't need to lock in their AD carry just yet. But we've been seeing a lot of Azir paired up alongside this Maokai. It wouldn't surprise me if Heretics just wanted to go for Cassante, Maokai, Azir as a topside priority.
In 2 weeks, you can throw this in my face. I'm excited about Azir. It's
You
dumb.
are. You told me this earlier.
He makes plays. I saw a victory yesterday from Larssen. You know, and Larssen, a great victory player. Don't want to see it again. Champion doesn't do anything.
True.
You got to wait. You take turns with Victor.
He literally,
it's literally
doesn't do
never
anything.
your turn.
Sorry, I just remembered the Malphite meme now. He literally doesn't do anything. He killed you. No, he literally
He just walks up and smashes the ground. Something you can do. So kind of.
So surely, come on, say that I'm really smart. Azir, Cassante, Heretics.
Azir, Cassante. That's the option. Will they prove that he's really smart? No, because it's Aphelios.
Look at me, I'm an idiot.
Yep, everybody's favorite emo boy on the bottom side of the map. Second favorite emo boy. Can't forget about you, Betty. Don't worry, I didn't forget. Cassante there too, though. So you were close.
1 out of 2.
We'll give you 1 out of 2. That's not bad.
Let's not forget Ebby. This was the only champion he played. Was it winter or was it spring?
It was winter.
It was winter.
He was literally every Ebby lane was guaranteed to have like 2 solo
Everyone was
kills
like,
in it.
it's fine. He can have it. Like, we can deal with it, okay? And then they couldn't deal with it.
No one could deal with it. Turns out Ebby was right all along. Champion nasty.
Yeah, so he's going to get his hands on it once
what
more.
do Koi just get their support here?
Yeah.
And this is a really strong pairing.
But it's because there are so many things that teams are happy to play into Lulu now. Nautilus, Blitzcrank, Thresh, just 3 examples. You can also, I think Braum is something you could be scared of.
And also LeBlanc is up too, which I think might deprioritize something like the Azir, because as excited as we are about the Azir, very often when Azir is coming through
You're
the picks
excited
and
about the
bans.
Azir. Don't bring up we.
I'm excited about the bird in the mid lane. You know, LeBlanc usually banned when that champion does come through. So see what the target priority is going to be. You'd assume Koi just ban away support options, but instead taking
ban
Jace. Vetheo, a Jace player for sure.
But are they considering that? Oh, you're right. Yeah. At first, my head went Cassante mid and then something else top lane, but you're right. Jace Maokai, very common mid jungle dude.
Yeah, when you hear hooves, think horses, not zebras. That's saying. Go for the simple option.
You're right. Yeah.
As much, but I'm definitely a zebra kind of guy. You know? I'm like, oh, they can flex this.
Yeah.
The option is open.
The problem is when you've been casting G2 for as long as we have,
you
you're
think
like,
zebras. But also you want it to be zebras.
True.
Whoever wants it to be horses.
It's true.
So Renekton banned away, Jace banned away, Koi. Let's see, is it another mid lane band? Do they care at all about this bot lane matchup? No, is the answer. Syndra now taken away. This frees up a pick for LeBlanc if they want it. Syndra has been the most successful counter to LeBlanc we have seen thus far.
That's what they care. This could be an Ahri for Koi. I think it makes most sense for them to just lock in top now, though. Save mid for last pick. It depends how much they care about locking in something for Larssen. We've seen him prioritize Azir in the past, and as I mentioned that, there's the ban. So it wouldn't have surprised me if they wanted to lock that one in instantly. But so, top lane makes the most sense right now. You know, I know we're not going to see it, but like, I kind of want to see a return of Gangplank. I don't even think it's good into the Kazande matchup, but oh, so they're going to put the Tristana in the mid lane, something we've seen from Larssen a number of times before. I think that's also to deny another mid-champion, an AD mid-champion that can pair up alongside the Maokai.
And I like having the double carry threats, especially you've already got a beefy front line in the form of Sejuani. Lulu obviously can support both those champions, and Tristana puts down a lot of pressure early on. Downside of locking in something like Nautilus here, I think it's a super safe blind, but your Aphelios doesn't really have great peel tools in a team fight. Most everyone on the team wants to go forward.
True, but Koi's composition right now is very front to back, right? There's a lot of range, so you would argue that there's not actually a lot of threat onto the back line, as opposed to if there was a Cassiopeia on the other team, that would be a lot of threat onto your back line.
We've seen.
Yeah, so how will they round it out? Well, there is that LeBlanc that you talked about. I remember Heretics saying that, I think it was on the podcast, so they mentioned that, or it was either in PGL or the podcast, so they mentioned that they believe. Yeah, but Vetheo is one of the best LeBlancs, and I set all that up for him to then lock in the Cassio.
And I was going to say, the LeBlanc early levels seem like a nightmare against Tristana. You might not even get the chance to get Static Surge. So instead the Cassio, second Cassio we've seen today, the first in the hands of Nuke. And certainly a champion that can match the early game damage output of a Tristana in lane. And now the Gwen, that particularly vocal human,
very excited about it,
is frequently dressed up as Gwen. That's the excitement. It's like seeing yourself in the game. One-to-one representation, as it were.
I mean, props to Szygenda. He has, overall, in my opinion, had a very solid split. We've seen him get, I think he leads in solo kills, or he's up there for sure.
And the thing is, it's really important today that he shows up in a big way, because yesterday he had a difficult game.
For sure.
Because the overall first week one, very good. Week 2 has an opportunity to turn around here, and we've seen it. You talk about front to back. Gwen with enough AP single-handedly can take over those fights.
So my only concern with picking Cassio, I think the main reason why you pick Cassio as opposed to LeBlanc is early levels, Cassio just has a little bit more wave clear and also can just trade better against a Tristana, which means that you can actually contest the prio, whereas until that static shiv comes through for a LeBlanc, you're basically going to be permanently underneath your tower due to the sheer wave clear that a Tristana has in early levels. But when we get to the team fights, I think that because you have a Tristana and a Zeri, you think about the range on those two, like it is very difficult to gain access. Cassio is just a champion that ideally wants to hit the front line and then work her way forward. So we'll see how she pairs up into the Gwen, because that's going to be what's basically looking to chop that snake to bits with the Sejuani Gwen combo, looking to try and act as that front line. But yeah, I think that both teams have very standard meta compositions, very front to back team fight, and we'll see who comes out on top. Go in Spanish.
Little hablo, a little bit there.
I enjoy it every now and then.
Yeah. Great language, great region, great teams, but they both lost yesterday, so we're kind of seeing who's going to turn it around today.
They did both lose yesterday.
So far, the Koi fans, though, more organized than the Heretics fans. Just saying.
Organized.
Well, in the cheering department.
Oh, I see.
Least,
I was like, oh, did you see that binder earlier?
Yeah, they're color coordinated. They're synced. They have
labels, everything.
Yeah, raring to go. Early game. Here's what concerns me, Vedius. As a play-by-play caster,
tell me.
My job centers on two things.
Right.
Making dumb jokes and casting team fights.
Right.
And while there will be many team fights in this game, I have a general concern that they won't come for the first 20 to 25 minutes.
I mean, honestly, it makes me laugh that we saw Maokai and Sejuani at the beginning of the year.
Oh, hold that thought. Fight at level 1.
They'll be fine.
Flakked getting frisky. That guy really excited about that hook, and you can see why.
Yeah.
Even though I'm not entirely sure they won the trade.
They didn't really. Advienne will pop.
They did. He says they did.
Oh,
Betty, I'm sorry. He's my new co-caster.
My bad. Sorry.
Yeah, well, you're
sorry,
bad.
my bad.
He's got healing.
Heretics fan
Severum sustained.
showing me up. Pot gonna be traded by Mersa. Yeah, so I was saying that I think it's really funny. Like, do you remember? So there was a meta where it was just Sejuani, Maokai, right?
Yeah.
And then everyone was like, wait,
yeah, so long ago.
Sejuani's really bad.
Yep.
So then it just became Maokai, and then Maokai got nerfed, and then both of them fell out.
Yep.
And then after a little while, everyone's like, wait a minute, Maokai's still fine, and then he came back. And then even during MSI, we didn't see Sejuani, but then afterwards, they were like, wait a minute, what's a good pick into Maokai? Sejuani. It's like, guys, didn't we already do this?
Cycle. We're living the same cycle.
I remember when our junglers used to pick Trundle into it, and then they would just live in Maokai's jungle and he didn't get to play the game.
We saw a little bit of that from Yike yesterday.
True.
You know, the more aggressive counter picks, instead kind of just the handshake here. But you heard it on the desk as well. Early game impact, very important for both
The
junglers.
level 3 Sej gank, this has become...
Yo, flashing out to safety, 2, 3, looking for 4. That's going to be a stun. Should be a first blood. Well played by Koi. And ladies and gentlemen, it's 2023, and you can still gank mid lane at level 3. It still works.
How do they keep getting away with this? We saw it multiple times yesterday. We're seeing it again. The level 3 Sejuani gank, the most lethal of jungle ganks.
And look, I'm not here to throw any shade, but I will say...
We should throw shade.
League of Legends 101, folks. What side of the river is the ward on? It's the bottom side. What side should you stand on? The bottom side. What side was Vetheo standing on? The top side.
Yeah,
that's how you're going to have a bad time.
We'll do a proper breakdown. Of course, Malrang committed the flash to the play as well. Let's have a look at that. So we're going to bring up the mini-map as well.
When he should have French fried.
The ward down here. No ward on the top side. And yeah, easy flash collapse from Larssen and Malrang.
And well played. And this is kind of a, you know, it's been a pretty quiet early game for
But these ganks shouldn't happen, just to clarify.
But it did, and that's what matters. You know, all you can do is adapt and move on.
500 gold lead now for Larssen. Flashless Vetheo also having to commit the TP early. Malrang trying to invade. Mersa will spot it out.
Okay. Initial lockdown. Flakked can now follow up with a root. Malrang should just be dead here. Larssen's kind of... Okay, already left him on his lonesome. Just focused on pushing the wave in. He knows there's no counter punch there, but that's important. Able to get a kill back. Giving the kill over to Flakked, interestingly. Not trying to reset anything for Vetheo in the lane.
But I'm curious as to... I guess Malrang must have assumed that Flakked and Mersa had based. Because Comp and Advienne chose to reset, and he must have expected Flakked and Mersa to not be there.
Mersa.
But I think that they're just there to help push through the wave so that Vetheo can get a nice base off. Obviously not taking the best of trades there. As Evie struggling a little bit in the 1v1. Szygenda doing a good job in terms of trading back and forth. The wave in a bit of an awkward position, but of course Szygenda has had the opportunity to recall, spend some of that money and invest the TP himself, so Evie should be fine. But yeah, pretty interesting that Malrang actually lost his life there. Either way, gold pretty much remains even. We're 1-1 in the kills. And a little bit more action in the other game than I was honestly expecting. But hey man, the level 3 Sejuani ganks, they're becoming the meta.
If it works, it works. That's all that matters. Sadly, a little overconfident there on the Raptors collapse. Does get taken down. So 1-1. But Larssen definitely has to be feeling pretty good. He's ahead on XP. He's stacking up that coal as well. He is going to be a big threat. Big pressure point on the map. Obviously, Tristana, I think one of my favorite parts in pro play is just how quickly you can tear through a tower. It just gives you such a strong pressure point. If Cassio ever missteps, you can take 1 or 2 plates pretty easily.
Jankos, you're going to flash in for this. You don't have mid push right now. Your AD carry is pushing in bot lane.
This is a bit psycho. Okay, the hook, the follow-up. They're just trying to bully Malrang right now. Comp still staying in the area, but Flakked has great guns for a fight and an XP advantage. Larssen on the backside, level 6 to Veteo's level 5. Malrang now trying to retreat.
Oh, he gets out.
They don't quite have the follow-up. The Calibrum Q going to connect, but the shield is there to deny it. Koi walking away with the Drake and not losing much of anything.
So a bit of a split focus there from Heretics. By choosing to use the Twisted Advance onto Comp, you do get his cleanse, but the additional damage in CC onto Malrang wasn't enough to secure that kill. So by trying to get more, they ended up getting less, and Heretics end up walking away with nothing.
Bit frustrating for them overall. Was difficult as well, but again, part of that, Larssen being level 6 makes it so much easier to deny the fight. Vetheo doesn't really have that big threat of the Petrifying Gaze. Malrang a bit behind in the overall jungle clear, but not costing him too much as the gold is dead even. And again, it's a Sejuani versus a Maokai. You need like 1,000, 1,500 before you're really going to feel that gold lead. It's more about the XP.
Slow start to the game.
When do we bust out the Koi facts? As in, not the team, the animal.
How did you know I had Koi facts prepared, Daniel? Because you also
I wasn't
have
talking
koi
about
facts.
your koi fact. Do you also have koi facts prepared?
Yeah, I also have koi facts
Did you separately on your own come up with koi facts?
Yeah. Did you come up with koi facts?
Yeah. Originally brought to Japan as a food source.
Really?
Brought to EMEA to dominate. Ooh, look at that. Which one am I talking about?
Ooh. Wow.
That was
look
corny.
At you. That
Yeah,
yeah, you prepared.
There it is. What do you got for me? Where's your koi fact?
I've got a few koi facts.
I could bring out heretic facts, but it feels like probably not.
Owners who receive their koi fish as a gift are considered to have good luck.
Oh.
Yeah.
So, if koi throw, is that them gifting? Do heretics have good luck?
I think of it as like koi joining the league is a gift.
To us.
Yes.
True.
Still trying to figure out
I think that every
what the
time I
good luck
hear
is.
Ebi cast something, even though I don't understand any of it, I'm like, that man's got passion.
That's true. Also, apparently, kois will often outlive their owners.
Oh, snap.
They have a lifespan of like 200 plus years.
That's impressive.
Which means that koi's gonna outlive all of us.
When we're gone, when we're old men,
we'll have
talking about,
great-grandchildren still playing on koi.
Playing on koi.
Yeah. We don't know what game they'll be
If
playing.
their entire brand and marketing strategy is based around the animal,
Yeah.
that is.
I mean, the logo kind of has the fish in it, doesn't it? I saw
True.
their animation. It was like a...
All right, Vedius. That's enough koi facts for now. Time to check back in on the game.
Herald's
Nothing's
being
happening.
started.
Back to koi. Herald's being started. 8
Wait,
minutes.
I see people moving towards the Herald.
Looking for the cheeky steal. Jankos potentially in trouble now. Szygenda has used the ultimate already. One last stack remaining as he tries to zoom out to safety. That's the power of the phase rush. Szygenda not much of a threat. Doesn't have boots, doesn't have movement speed, so can't really stick on top of Jankos at this point in the game.
Do you know, every time we like go off on tangents and share educational facts,
yeah,
Szygenda should be fine, right?
Jankos.
Does he have
There's no miss. The miss is on cooldown. Still going to get rooted up. Jankos now going to go for the follow-up, going to punt him back in, but the miss coming up just in time. Ulti response, catching Mersa under the tower! Ooh, burning, ticking. Not going to finish the job.
Well, now they're going to try and get themselves some plates. Of course, they have the Herald, so they can funnel this gold into Flakked. He's doing what he can to chip away at the tower. Choosing not to throw down the Herald, though, just yet. Okay, so they don't want to invest the gold this early. I think that could have been a good opportunity to just get that gold over to Flakked, but Heretics instead want to prioritize something else. You'll see the comp now, after getting the reset in bot lane, will make his way towards top. Szygenda has the TP, so he can go catch that bot wave, so no farm should really be lost here. Advienne going to look to hold the wave in time for comp to arrive. So the game remains in a very neutral state.
Yeah, overall the only really big difference we're going to notice, which isn't going to be a difference, is the coal difference between Flakked and comp, but Larssen of course has one over Vetheo, so again that will even the gold out, but in this case further push Larssen's individual advantage in the mid lane. We'll see what his itemization choice is going to be. Easy to assume static with how popular it's been, but I think Kraken potentially just as likely. In fact, I think
Static
static
is
might
strong in the arena though.
Yeah.
People feeling optimistic. I mean, if you're a fan of both these teams, you're looking at this game and you're thinking,
Question
okay.
is, do they like the team or the fish, Vedius? That remains unclear.
Great tunneled on this fish right now.
Until people kill each other, I told you what I'm here to do.
No,
Let's
I mean,
make
that's
bad
fair.
jokes.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, we've cast together now. Do you know, Drakos, we've cast together for 7 years.
Yeah, it's a weird...
2016, we started casting
old.
together.
Back when we were allowed to make relentless Britney Spears references, no one would bat an eye.
And there's no evidence.
There's
because Challenger VoDs aren't there anymore.
That's right, you can't prove it.
You can't prove it.
That's important.
TP for the Drake. Heretics will be first to the objective. I don't think koi will actually contest this.
Yeah, it's not really a great situation for them to try and contest it. Evi has the TP advantage at this point, so just more resources overall. Larssen has the TP advantage, but he's already mid lane, so it just does not matter.
A lot of handshaking going on right now. But again, I think both teams look at this game and they think, well, we're scaling. You know, literally both comps basically want to do the same thing. The execution is slightly different, but at its core, it's all about that front. Like, I think we saw what Heretics saw, right? That's what the observers are showing us, and I'm pretty sure they quite clearly saw Malrang go into that bush. The pings are very clearly coming down.
All right.
But Malrang has made these ganks work before. He doesn't care. They know Mersa doesn't have flash. A good ultimate onto Mersa. Maybe they can one-pop him. Yeah. TP available on the Tristana as well. There's a ward there that he could TP to.
We're just waiting. Malrang. That was a good performance. Almost Oscar-worthy. But again, I can't remember now if they actually spotted him. They will clear the ward. walk away.
I'm just thrilled right now.
What's fight in Spanish? Can you Google what fight in Spanish
Yeah, I can
is?
find the word for fight in Spanish. Fight in Espanol. Okay, wait, it's turned Dutch into Spanish.
Oh, that's not what we need. Flakked, Comp now getting aggressive here. Flakked now turning it back with extra healing. It's Larssen on the backside, knocking him into the midst of the team. He's trying to spam, but red-white, not enough. That's the TP play you called out earlier. Larssen now getting a reset. He's going to be able to jump out of safety. He's grounded for now, but he knocks him out of the ground, and Jankos! You can't be doing that! Larssen gets the reset out to safety.
Koi walk away with all 5 members alive and 2 kills as well. A great TP use from Larssen, finds an opportunity for Koi, and Szygenda is going to get so much gold off the back of this as well.
This is perfect for them. Szygenda getting this play through, massive gold lead. Larssen
So many plates
ahead.
actually. I think that's 3 plates for Szygenda. Oh, he's not going to finish. Obviously, no minions left. Doesn't want to overstay his welcome here.
I think we can safely say Bien Luchar for our boys on the bottom side
we
there.
can. Comp initiates the fight onto Flakked, takes away half his HP. Larssen then, with the insect play, knocks Flakked into the team. The Maokai ultimate is not enough. Larssen then hardcore commits into the play, knocks him out of the miasma, giving him the ability to jump away to safety.
And it was close. Larssen would have needed another second, and Jankos wouldn't have had the Q damage if he didn't Q in that instance. So it's a tight play either way, but definitely feels pretty bad that you knock him out of the miasma in that context. Heavy, getting aggressive on the top side. The pull back there. Now the ult, not quite going to take him over the wall. Szygenda immediately going to try to throw down a little bit of healing, but is it going to be enough? Heavy getting the reset. Heavy looking to finish the job. But Malrang in the area. The flash forward, the Q! Can't quite connect, but Jankos. There's no more mist. Will he throw down the ulti? No, because he doesn't have it. 5 seconds, 4, getting lower. He's out of range. There's nothing for him here.
This is the Maokai Sejuani matchup, kind of personified. Well, look at Ebby, really great trade in the top lane against Szygenda. I was told that Gwen's supposed to be a counter. I guess when you go for the Everfrost, you do hold a little bit less power when it comes to the trading in the top lane. Obviously, a little bit more utility.
And Cassante ult's still very strong in the context of an all-in if you've already been chunked low. I think that, yeah, not having the Omni Vamp coming in at this stage of the game, obviously going to shift things up as well. We'll see. As Gwen gets more items, you have to assume it'll favor Gwen a bit more. Still a 900 gold lead. And we're back to not fighting. Flakked doesn't quite have enough ammo in the white gun to tear through the tower, but Comp on his lonesome.
You are the gun enthusiast, aren't you?
I am a gun enthusiast. It is true. It's the American in me.
When I look at the fellas, I'm like, is he doing damage or is he not doing damage?
Yeah. He's either stunning or he's doing damage. Koi gonna get things kicked off.
Oh, nice ulti.
Fantastic ult to start things. Team Heretics have no business walking up there. But Koi not quite enough follow-up to get anything done here. Nice root coming in from the Everfrost. Evie unstoppable.
They don't have the damage. He's gonna walk that one off.
Cassante doing Cassante things. Get your copy pastas in the chat.
Koi will be able to secure the blue buff here. But nice engage overall from Koi. I like the aggression. I didn't see how many Vetheo... Wait, he actually did not. I thought he ulted. I swear he ulted. I thought I heard the sound effect. I guess he just flashed away.
Yeah.
But I thought that the ult was actually what pushed Koi away, but that makes a little bit more sense why they were able to chase the fight down. Either way, no kills end up going down. Another tower will drop. I say another tower. The first tower for Koi will drop. Second overall in the game. And now we're kind of looking at this next dragon as the main point of contention. Ebby wants to get level 11. Szygenda needs to... What? No, he's not going to reset, actually. Yeah. Instead, he's just going to make his way down to join the rest of his team. Flakked will be able to get the push in the mid lane. Vetheo looking to do the same thing, but with a numbers disadvantage here as Ebby commits to top. I wonder if Heretics are making the choice to concede this.
Everfrost root, the immediate follow-up now. Devastation, Flakked forced to flash out to safety. Mersa barely ticking health bar, 130 HP, able to walk away, but it zones him off the tower. Needle's not quite going to connect. Clean play. I'm liking the Everfrost on the Gwen. Szygenda putting it to good use there.
Very close there as Mersa's able to get away to safety. But now, Heretics definitely not going to contest this objective. The cross map will come through as Heretics prioritize that top tower.
And I think we got to give some shout out. Malrang giving this lead to Larssen. Larssen getting that lead in the bottom lane, continuing to send it across the map. And this is the kind of team play we were kind of waiting to see from Koi. No longer just waiting for enemy teams to make plays and to punish, but making plays of their own around the map. Definitely feels like a step up.
I'm still hesitant of their mid game.
I'm with you. I'm saying it's a start, it's an improvement.
Do you remember their Excel game?
Based on
yeah. That game where they had like, oh wow, Koi looking clean in the early, and then their mid game, ugh. We'll see if they've cleaned that up, because obviously, as the analyst desk was highlighting as well, Koi during the regular season so far this year have not had great performances. 4-5 has kind of been their scoreline. In winter, they were able to make it to playoffs. Overall, they were able to ramp up as they got through the best of 3s and best of 5s. In spring, they ended up losing to G2, which, I mean, it was definitely a difficult best of 3 to go up against. But high expectations for this roster, of course. They've made a number of changes coming into summer, and so far these changes are not resulting in the level delivered. And of course, Heretics are surprising many people in terms of the level that they're bringing to the league right now. But even Flakked himself feels like that there are still a lot of things that they need to improve, and they need to get much better at a much faster rate. And this win could have massive implications. Remember that normally, if you get 4 wins, that's normally good enough to get you into the top 8.
I mean, given how top-heavy our league has been, you don't need that many. And it's only, again, the most you can possibly have is 9. So 4 isn't that low of a number overall. You can see standings coming up now. Thank you, production. It's a tight season, and you talk about the need to rapidly improve, and that's a pressure that every team has felt in every single split we've had thus far. This format is brutal. If you have a bad week 1, like Koi did, it can be devastating, whereas for Heretics, they had a fantastic week 1. The momentum very much in their favor here, despite the loss yesterday.
So for both teams, like an important game here, Koi wanting to try and separate themselves from the bottom of the pack as much as possible. Heretics wanting to try and solidify themselves. Obviously, we can't confirm anything, but 4-5 wins in the past, given our current format, has always been enough to secure a top 8 spot. So we'll see. Right now,
good red buff, good red buff.
Easy, clean, secure.
Now 2 red buffs.
Ooh, all right. Testing the water. I don't know what they're saying.
Did you sing Vedius?
Oh, they are, yes. Saying Vedius. Hi.
Hey guys.
I appreciate that. It's very kind of you.
We're going to need you.
We are going to need you.
If they keep refusing to hit each other, we're going to have to get weird here with the change.
We are, because I played this game before, but sometimes when you can play games with the audience.
Yeah. Hey, thank you. They're not here for me, but I appreciate you all. That's very wholesome. I'm blushing, unironically.
We can play a game if you want.
Oh.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite ones, which is like, because you've all played this before growing up. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it and you really want to show it. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you want Heretics to win, clap your hands. If you want Heretics to win, clap your hands. If you want Heretics to win, but you're actually a Koi fan and you want them to win instead, clap your hands.
What? All right, they would not have said that you lost that game in preschool, because that's when I played the game, and they're not mean like that, but...
I mean, I thought I'd keep them on their toes, you know? I've got to keep them locked in.
Yeah. They have to be, at any moment, you could sneak out here with some audience participation that's mandatory.
I mean, we're just waiting for Dragon to spawn, guys. Okay?
Production, do we have the pause magician?
Don't tell them. It's a secret.
No, I'm not informed. No. Oh, we're not supposed to tell them about the pause. Okay. Well, there's no pause. It's just classic macro-focused League of Legends gameplay. Right now, both teams have agreed, non-verbally, but through in-game body language, that a third item would be nice. You know?
Awfully convenient.
And I imagine that if Gladiators in Rome had a choice, they would have done something similar. You know, when a fight to the death is on the line, you'd probably be like, you know what? We could wait for better armor.
I mean, but they probably have the debate around, like, weight, though. You know, when you have to travel vast distances.
How glorious is dying in battle? Like, I could live another couple years.
I could. Why don't we... Hey,
Valhalla, we're mixing historical references here.
I've got my shield, I've got my sword, but you know what?
The strap on the shield a little loose, Blacksmith.
Also, I could do with a spear, you know? Can we get that finished before I go to battle?
Oh, never mind. Koi have a different plan. They've decided scaling time is over. Plan. JK, scaling time's back on because they've been spotted. But if they had secretly kept this going,
Malrang
has to wait for his Q to come back through. Oh! Now what?
Heretics have started it.
The
Szygenda TPing.
The non-aggression pact has been broken. Everybody's ready to fight.
He's back in the pit.
3K, it's getting lower. Malrang, is it the longest con we've ever seen? Comp now gonna get knocked up on the backside. There's not a ton of follow-up damage for the Malrang. Also gonna hit immediately. They're getting kicked off. Koi, oh no! Devastation! Malrang just wanted to leash. They just wanted to try to cheekily do some damage to the Baron, but it costs them their entire bot lane. And it's gonna cost them the big purple worm. Koi now gonna try to get their third Drake in exchange.
Koi, they went against the non-aggression pact. They believed that non-aggression meant that there would be no aggression upon starting the Baron, but that voided the terms and agreements.
Yep.
They did not read the fine print, and Heretics saw that window and said, all right, it's time for violence. It was a split fight. The front line disappeared. So the fact that Malrang and Larssen were separated meant that there was an easy engage onto the bot side.
Cooldown?
It's apparently very long.
So long. He had to flash.
He's forced the flash over the wall, and then the beauty is he uses his Q to get back into the pit. He's going to throw the ultimate onto Ebby, but of course there's no follow-up because the rest of his team is on the right-hand side. Mersa lands a hook onto Comp. He then gets grounded. He then gets ulted. He then gets ulted again. And then the flash in from Vetheo to help secure that kill means that...
Wow.
Yeah, the bot lane just gets isolated. That front line of Malrang isn't there. The TP from Larssen to try and rejoin his team means that the Baron goes in favor of Heretics.
And some of these situations are just going to be so miserable for Comp to play out. Right now, it's not a massive Goldie 1.5k Baron power play. 1.5 is how much you get from the Baron, so not significant at this stage. But you can see Comp, if he has to walk into a choke point against this composition, he takes so much damage just for trying to walk up before he even gets to hit anybody. This one's going to be a bit tricky, but once he gets some lifesteal under his belt, things are going to be a lot easier. That said, for now, ball is in Team Heretics' court. Pushing through, should be able to break down this tier 1 with ease. We'll see how many tier 2s they can get on this first Baron. Dragon Soul has to be the big talking point here. Koi able to get the 3-1. They are on Soul point, so Team Heretics can't really take over with this Baron. Koi have a fantastic opportunity to shift the game in their favor.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Is the ball in court, is that a basketball reference?
You know,
because in football, you ideally want the ball in the opposing side court.
Hold that thought. I think it might be tennis. Anyway, hold that thought. Double room! That's big damage. Flakked now pushing forward!
That was a lot of damage from Flakked. They'll still get the tower. I thought that was a great pick opportunity for Koi. But it didn't really result in anything. They were able to weather the storm, Heretics. And now they actually want more. They've got a minute left on the Baron. They know that health bars are low for Koi, and so they're going to commit. They don't have a minion wave. Jankos is just going to tank this one up.
Breaking down tier 2 at least. Nice little gold injection for the team overall, and you can see the player that you really need to keep your eye on in these fights is Flakked, not just because of that Gale Force 4, the confidence play there from Flakked, but because he's 2.2k gold ahead. He's been getting funneled so many resources. Now has the Kraken as well as the BT, so a hard man to kill. And the fights to come. Still though, 3k on the Baron. Probably outvalued if an Infernal Soul can go over to the side of Koi, so clear objective to play for Koi at least in the next few minutes.
We return to the neutral state.
Yeah, and anyway, it's definitely got to be some sort of tennis-esque sport because you have separate sides, and I think ball on your court is like you're serving.
Oh,
you're serving. You know what I mean? So they have to respond.
Because I thought basketball, like, is it good to have the ball on your side of the court? You know, but I don't really watch basketball, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
And obviously it's not baseball.
The problem is we're gamers.
True.
So if I had said you pulled the raid boss, you'd understand.
I would, yeah.
You know,
I would.
You're dictating the pace, but we have to keep these sports references.
You're drawing the aggro.
You're drawing the aggro.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Or you're calling the raid. You know, it's the sports don't. It doesn't one-to-one.
It's true. That's why I was clarifying for our viewers at home. You know, I was helping educate the masses.
I actually knew the whole time.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's important to take it down a notch.
I just love the idea of when we're saying these random things in the chat. You know that emote noted when they just say that's,
I like Monka personally.
Yeah. Monka is also good. But you know, we're an educational stream. We aim to teach and learn together. You know, like right now we're going to learn what happens to a koi fish when playing against well, a 3-item Aphelios.
Yes. Looking to make sashimi.
I set you up for that, you didn't? Yeah, like that.
See how precise they can be?
Oh, you know what the line is? Do you remember when I said earlier that a koi is often seen as a gift when given, and it can mean good luck?
Yep.
Heretics could be like, it's the gift that keeps on giving because they're, you see what It's funny. Yeah.
I mean, Koi definitely gave him that Baron, so.
Yeah. Oh, that would have been perfect.
That was one get.
Can we go back? Can we like rewind? Can we? Yeah. If someone could just like dub that over that would be great. Be a great call. Lock that in the clips channel.
All right, here we are. Lines of scrimmage drawn. The good news,
30 seconds.
Larssen, still a strong boy.
True.
Still able to fight for some of this mid-prio here. They're going to trade sides, combat gold above each side's champion portraits. That's the amount of gold and effective items that they have. Doesn't look at consumables, doesn't look at anything they've spent on consumables. So you can see a 2k pretty decent advantage for the side of Team Heretics, but it's really all about the carries here. Can Flakked free fire? If so, they're going to win this one. Will Koi 50-50 it? This is a bold bet if they want to go for it. Probably worth the gamble, to be honest here, because if they win, they get Soul. If they lose, they give up second Drake to Team Heretics. Set up there, hook now going to land. Malrang on the front line, still taking a lot of damage. Off to the side is Szygenda. Szygenda is big here, trying to get his way to the back line. Flakked so far has not had a big effect. The ulti going to go a little bit wide here. Gwen still standing. Szygenda trying to dash to safety, but that's one kill. Now the fall from Vetheo, the slow on multiple members. Flakked, Gale forcing forward, trying to keep the fight in their favor, but as long as Malrang is alive, there's a hope. He's got no flash, but his Q is up. Can he steal it? No! Flakked going to secure that one. Second Drake over to the side of Team Heretics. Soul point denied, and Advienne now on the run. Heavy will opt not to do Cassante things. Team Heretics walking away happy as they take the Drake.
Patient play from Heretics. Flakked and Vetheo's positioning. They were very aware of Szygenda on the flank. He was the member that I was the most concerned about for Heretics just because his position looked so good. You could see that the fact that the engage comes onto Malrang and then Szygenda has this access onto the back line, you're thinking, oh, he can do some real damage back there, especially when he doesn't get caught by the Maokai ultimate. But unfortunately, there's no real follow-up. You can see that the Zeri is doing what he can to try and tear apart Jankos. Then they turn their attention onto Evie, and the front line is just stronger for Heretics. So when they then get the re-engage and all of the engage tools have disappeared from Koi, they're just forced to retreat, and Szygenda doesn't have anything to help him get away to safety. So the front to back is just going way more in the favor of Heretics, as this Cassio is really doing a lot of work every time Koi tried to force an engage.
Yeah, just has so much control if they do want to run face first from the enemy team. Hard for Koi to find the angles. Szygenda getting stronger. Wasn't enough to tear through the entire front line. TP now coming in. Evie might be in trouble here. Unstoppable. The team now retreating, debating. Do they want to keep this Baron going? It will reset in terms of overall health. Full 5v5 here.
They got the TP out of Szygenda, so Heretics aren't too unhappy about that. Now they can start to split up the map once more. Vetheo moving towards the bot lane, looking to get that push in. Koi maybe see a window here where they can start the Baron themselves. It's a bit of a gamble, choosing not to go for it. They'll instead send Szygenda top lane.
The Baron is fast, though, if they
It's
did
very
want to try
fast for both sides, I feel. Let's have a look at the Aphelios guns. What's he running right now?
Ooh, you want to talk about the...
Well, I'm thinking about Baron, you know what I mean?
Well,
it's on red-blue.
So most likely the red swaps to purple. The nice thing about pro play right now is that Aphelios is generally agreed on an order, so you can generally tell what's coming next. So the red should swap to a purple.
Yeah, it's white, red, blue, purple.
I mean, if you say that many colors in order, I can't remember. I can look at the one in front of me and I can tell you which one's coming next.
Oh no, it's green, blue.
So purple and then green are the next two.
It's not blue. Yeah, it's...
And again, every time we do this, I feel like we're preschool teachers. You know, like, all right, guys.
It's the color.
How do you make green? You know?
Wait, isn't green one of the root colors?
Yellow and blue. Wait, maybe. I've actually forgotten entirely, so I'm opening myself up to massive criticism.
Oh no, we forgot the basic colors.
How do you make the color? You click the eyedropper tool in Photoshop. Bam. Yeah. Forgot all that, just like algebra. Never use it, just Google. I'm a bad example. Don't follow in school. Stay there, good idea. Team Heretics, ready now to start the Baron. 30 minutes in, not a massive goal lead. Flakked, decent guns for a fight now. Curious to see what the red swaps into here, as he does actually have white.
As play-by-plays love to say, red-white means you fight.
That means don't fight. Don't fight the Aphelios. That's what it means.
Yeah, but the Aphelios wants to fight.
True.
Oh, but he's got no red left.
No, he can push Q. You need 10. You only it consumes 10 ammo, but if you have less than 10, so he's just looking to use red gun to stack up as many shots as he can.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
The audience is done. They've opted for a topic change. Say enough about the guns.
Fight.
Szygenda on the flank is big. Flakked currently untouched on the backside, trying to stack as many shotguns as possible. He's only going to hit a few decent guns, but they're fighting right into the choke. Flakked now needs to fire back if they want to get anything done. Malrang grounded briefly. A single member taken out. Only Mersa off the board. Koi, they can regroup. Can they get something done in the next 30 seconds?
It's an awkward fight for Heretics as Evie was pushing out the top wave and didn't really have anywhere to TP to. So he TPs to the mid-tier 2, and the fight is already over at that point. Koi walk away with a kill, but they're losing a lot of control over the map. They have set up position around Baron, and they will start this one. Jankos was about to start the red buff, now has to make a beeline, but this Baron is gone.
Taking a bit of damage here. Burn through this one so damn quick, there's really no chance to respond. Team Heretics is going to get the fight in the meantime. The mark down for Flakked, going to lay a bit of poke onto Malrang, but the Q follow-up, the moonshot will not connect. Evie ready to try to get something done here, but has to go all out if he wants to go over the wall, so can't really follow up.
A big blunder there from Heretics. They just believed that Koi would reset. They didn't. They looked at the HP bars and said, you know what, there's no way that they start this Baron, but Koi just melt that Baron. Here's the pick that you'll see onto Mersa. He's trying to clear out this vision, but you look around, there's no real wards for Evie to TP to, which means that Flakked actually, I think, gets a good position here. He tries to pop the red to then stack up those chakrams, as you highlighted earlier. But like the damage just isn't enough. Mersa dies too quickly. It's 4 versus 5. Vetheo and Jankos are forced to retreat immediately. And then they actually move to the bot side of the map to start setting up for the Drake, but that then completely costs them the Baron. The good news for Heretics is it's likely just going to go straight into another fight. So we'll see if Koi really gets to take advantage of this Baron.
Getting aggressive here, trying to take some space. Which again is still just hovering on the flank, but that's the miss now taken out. Maybe they get the fight started. The Everfrost, the root, the stopwatch now used. Ultimate coming out to try and disengage. Mersa already down. Evie already so damn low. Vetheo, Flakked, Jankos, 3 members versus the world. Evie over the wall, but so low. Comp just laying down a bit of poke here. Malrang eyes focused on the prize. Infernal Soul, the name of the game for Koi here. 50-50, and Jankos manages to take it away. Both teams now at soul point, but Team Heretics need to get the hell out of Dodge. They will retreat, hit him with a thumbs up, and walk away happy to have the Drake.
Wow, Jankos with a really important steal. Koi, while they do secure the Baron, if they had gotten the soul as well, that likely could have been game. But now, with Vetheo and Flakked still alive, they can look to try and hold the line. A minute still left on this Baron. Koi looking to do as much damage as they can. Flakked, he's going to have to concede this. This will be an inhibitor for Koi.
Big to take out the inhibitor. Malrang now descending on the mid lane, trying to burn some cooldowns out from Vetheo. Happy to have the tier 2. Koi overall, yes, it sucks not to get the Infernal, but breaking open the inhibitor line as a result of that fight is still favorable. Maybe they can keep this one going. Lock up onto Vetheo, the stun now, the follow-up. They're looking to end the game. They don't want to miss out on this opportunity, but Flakked! He fires back, deleting the jungler. The root, the follow-up is there. Mersa, does he want to turn this one? But Comp is too strong. The double 80 carries. Oh, the scaling, the time has come for Koi. And they want to finish the job. The ult coming out from Jankos just to delay the fight, just to stop them for now. But Koi, can they just push for the end? 38 seconds and counting left on this Baron as they look to close it here.
Yeah, I mean, Koi's in a great position right now. As you said, 30 seconds on the Baron means that they can try and end. The TP available on Szygenda means that they just have to wait for the bot wave. They can TP in on that. They know they have the numbers advantage. It's going to be a difficult fight. There's the TP, but maybe Heretics can punish this.
This is a bit over eager. Szygenda going to just back
the damage from Larssen is lethal, though.
I mean, you got double carries at this point in the game. Szygenda continuing to step forward, creating so much space for Larssen then to leap in. Towers getting taken down. 9 seconds left on Vetheo. Koi, cheeky alpaca thumbs up. They're going to walk away. They are the victors of that exchange. 5.7k Red Bull Baron power play. Massive advantage to them as the tower will fall, much to the excitement of Berlin, but they still need to close it out. TP, double TP on the flank. 2 members coming in. Can they make this team fight work? Szygenda already throwing down the ultimate. Larssen over the wall. Vetheo now trying to finish him up in the 1v1. The knockup going to go through, but Vetheo isolated. Vetheo now all on his lonesome, has to flash out to safety. But Mersa goes over the wall. Flakked over the wall, trying to fire back. The mid stopping any follow-up, and the play is fumbled. Koi responding perfectly.
The Heretics are just falling apart at this point. Koi, they found a really good pick around the Dragon. They use that to find themselves another pick. They move into the bot lane inhibitor, and then as they're trying to retreat and pressure mid, they find themselves another pick, which look at how much damage they've now done to the base of Heretics. It's just Heretics kind of collapsing after that initial blunder around the Baron, and Koi have just come back into this game finding pick after pick after pick, and now it feels that with the itemization, that range disparity that exists between the two teams is becoming very apparent. The front line of Heretics that was so solid earlier on is now just melting at the hands of Szygenda, Malrang, and the back line of Koi.
Jankos, Everfrost again connecting. We talked about Szygenda at the start of the game, a guy who's had a pretty solid season individually, even if Koi haven't been putting up results, and you saw in that damage chart as well. Man is a powerhouse on the Gwen. In terms of impact in these fights, he's been huge for the team, really silencing Evie in this top lane matchup.
threat now onto the tier 2 top lane. That's an easy secure for Larssen. Level 18 on the Tristana. The range is monstrous.
For Koi, this feels like this should just be a victory lap. They've got so much pressure now. They can wait a minute and 30 seconds if they want to play for Soul. Huge gold advantage, item advantages on the carries. Just can't afford to fumble here. Szygenda on his lonesome. Can just step forward into Vetheo and just look to take the 1v1. Nice backstep, it's clean. The Petrifying Gaze is the only thing that could have done it. And Szygenda turns away at the perfect time. Koi can now go for the throw. Koi can look to end the game. It is only a single tower standing between them and the nexus of Team Heretics.
An important pick as Szygenda continues to cause chaos on the side lane. The hook will not connect. The
Gwen
mist
is immune.
But now with no inhibitors left, Koi are sieging onto the Nexus towers. Only a single one remains. Flakked doing what he can to wave clear that turret, doing some serious work.
And Flakked's the only one who matters here. If he goes down, it could all fall apart. They're immediately trying to get to the backside, trying to get onto Flakked, but Gwen again immune, going golden on the stopwatch. 5 members of Koi here. Flakked will not be enough. He's doing a lot of damage, but there's too many members of Koi standing. Vamos Koi, baby! Taking the win over Team Heretics.
A strong start for Heretics, but a single pick onto Mersa converted into a Baron for Koi was all they needed to turn this game around. Both compositions wanted to do the same thing. They had that front-to-back team fighting. But at the end of it, it was Koi that ends up coming out on top. Slow start overall, and of course, Heretics not in a bad position when we look at this season in its entirety. But after going 3-0 in week 1 to find themselves 0-2, they've got to be feeling frustrated, especially with the position that they were in that game.
Yeah, definitely a difficult one. And again, I think credit in the early game, Malrang making level 3 game work, Larssen transitioning that pressure to the bottom side, and Szygenda just continuing to get stronger and stronger. We've seen the power that a late
That initial Baron, though.
The initial Baron was terrible, man. And that's the thing is like, look, we can talk about what they need to change for the next game, but we can also just wait to see it. Today, they found the win.
They did.
When it mattered, after a very rough day 1. Still not the cleanest, but still able to find the win. And according to our Koi fun facts, the largest Koi ever recorded was a whopping 4 feet long and 91 pounds. But after that performance from Szygenda, I'd say it's looking like a nice 6 foot. I'm going to say like 160 based on that Gwen performance. That's him. That's the, yeah. Really bad at guessing weight and heights. So whatever Szygenda is.
I see what you're trying to do.
Yeah, I was good.
He's the
trying to be
Koi.
clever. He's also an option for player of the game at LEC on Twitter, Szygenda, Larssen, and Comp.
The viewers at home probably learned a lot more about Koi than they were expecting to.
Yeah.
You're welcome. We'll have more Koi facts for you. You can guarantee that.
Every game is a Koi game.
Every single game.
promise.
But congratulations once again to Koi. Of course, a very heated rivalry between the two Spanish organizations. But today it was Koi that walked away with the victory.
Certainly do. And now let's send it over to the victorious support who's standing by with Trouble.
Thank you very much, guys. Advienne, congratulations on the victory. I was just chatting to you now about it. Is that like a sigh of relief, getting that W?
Well, not yet completely, because we still have some wins to go, but definitely getting this one on the board was very important, especially after the Mad Lions fiasco, I suppose. So, yeah, very happy that we at least got one on the board and looking for more.
What did you mean by a fiasco?
I mean, in my opinion, that game was like kind of won, and then just Aphelios happened. 300 years of gaming design, and sadly we lost that one, but I still count that one as a good game, and it was very close. So.
Now, of course, joining Koi, there are expectations behind the team from Rogue to Koi. What do you think are like some growing pains in your team that is not allowing this performance that we saw today every day?
It's just some macro things. We need to get better at communicating. Obviously, with Trummy gone, there was a different communication going now that we have to ease into. And it's not always super easy to practice effectively in scrims. And so, yeah, we just have to tackle that communication, tackle macro, get on the same page in that sense. And once we got that going, which is slowly coming, I think we will be a very strong team.
It's actually so interesting that you mentioned Trim, because she was a big shot caller in general for Koi, played a lot with Comp. How is your communication with Comp, and what is your role in the team currently?
Well, right now I'm adding a lot of just communication in the team in terms of making sure we do reviews correctly, making sure there's energy when it comes to talking about the game, talking about laning phases, that kind of stuff. And I think the communication I have with Comp is really good. We have very open dialogue. I really love working with him, and yeah, it's all going pretty well, I'd say.
Have you been satisfied with your performance so far in Koi?
I mean, I think a real competitor is never satisfied, because even if you make one mistake, that's not enough. I don't think I've been playing poorly, but every player can do better, and I strive to be the best, so I need to do better, always.
All right, so since you have been through a lot of iterations of support, metas and stuff, is this particular support meta one that you can really show off?
Personally, I don't think so, especially when this current patch kind of reintroduced stuff like Yumi, which we all know and love, and other enchanters. I think the skill expression in support is really kind of dumbed down to the first few levels, where you can kind of pressure your lane, and after that, it's really just macro communication, but not like something special. So I would like to see some engaged supports coming back, some skill expression in the support role, but this is what it is right now.
All right, Advienne, I want your quick thoughts. SK just walked on stage. You guys are playing them tomorrow. How do you think this matchup will go?
I think we'll win.
Okay, quick and to the point. Thank you very much, Advienne. Congrats on the win again. We're going to toss it over to Frankie and Broxah for a post-match breakdown.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much for that interview, Advienne and Trouble. Do you think that there's no skill expression in Enchanter supports? Because Advienne seems to be very much on the melee train.
Well, I think to some extent he's correct. I think in solo queue, it's like, there's a much bigger difference between a good support and a bad one in terms of like how much you can roam and use vision. But at this level, like all the supports already know all that, and there's only so much you can do. So I kind of understand where he's coming from. You know, supports want to have a chance to show off and make big plays as well, right?
Yeah. We are joined by Larssen. Hello.
Hello, hello.
How are you doing after that match? Thirsty work, I see.
Yeah, I haven't come down yet, really, because it was, as always, against Heretics, El Clasico, it's always a banger. It's always a very long game against Heretics every time we meet them. And it's also a huge win for us. Like, it's massive. We needed this win big time. So, yeah, I'm very happy right now. Yeah.
Well, let's talk about what happened then. Let's start with the draft, because the Tristana was an interesting pick. I definitely was watching Yamato, his stream, and he was talking about how it could be viable right now, so it was good to see you play it. Middle of the game, though, it looked like you weren't able to get much done. So how did you feel when you were playing her today?
I think we're doing pretty well. It's not that easy to like snowball the game, but there was like a Nash call. Maybe I made a Nash call, because like the third Drake was coming up, and I was like thinking, maybe we can sneak it because they think about Drake, but they definitely didn't. And then we made the game very hard for ourselves, but we stayed very strong mentally. So I'm happy about that.
Yeah, and it was a fantastic endgame for you. I mean, deathless, Larssen. For you personally, how much did you need to have a big performance today?
Yeah, obviously it's been a rough season so far, so having a good performance is nice, but mainly I just wanted the dub. Like, the dub was the only thing in my mind. So that's the only thing I care about.
Yeah. Well, let's go right back to the early game as well. The level 3 Sejuani gank seems to be meta at the moment. Should we have a look at that moment, Broxah?
Yeah, I think in this case it was pretty interesting because we saw Heretics plays a ward level 1 here that Koi obviously spotted, and Malrang presumably made this early plan off of this because we see him starting red buff. He's gonna do Crocs, he's gonna do Raptors, but what he does after finishing Raptors is really interesting. He knows the water stand that is gonna expire soon, so he moves in Fog of War, moves all the way around the red buff, and comes in towards the mid lane, obviously looking for this kill and being a good jungler, setting his mid lane up for success.
Yeah, he was a good boy, but then 1 minute later he was not a good boy.
And that clip is coming now, because we have to show both sides of it. So Malrang starts off using the vision, great, but unfortunately he wasn't aware of this ward in the river that is now timing out. Bot lane is spacing, enemy bot lane of course moves on him right away, and just like that, unfortunately the advantage didn't last for too long.
Yeah, I mean, Malrang giveth and Malrang taketh, right? So.
The power of the jungler, I guess.
Yeah, let's move things into the team fight setup. About 11 minutes into the game. It was an interesting game to watch throughout, really. The two sides seem to be keen not to give anything away in the fight, happy to walk away, but not in this instance, Larssen.
So I was wondering, how did you guys plan this? What was the communication like? Because you put the ward down for TP really early.
Yeah, we knew a TP advantage mid, and we looked for a timer where I could TP and Cassante could not TP, and Cassio couldn't be bot. So we looked for a timer where Cassio was around mid, and Gwen can like cancel Cassante TP, and I can TP because they have a mad advantage. So we're just waiting for the correct moment. And yeah, it went very well. I could insect Aphelios. It's always nice to insect on Tristana, right? So yeah, that was like the game.
Well, what was it that made you make this call? Was it because you knew Herald was timing out soon and you expected them to want to put it down immediately?
It was kind of giving a call because they really wanted to Herald. They were showing it very clearly. And we knew I had TP advantage mid, so we just played around it. Yeah,
makes sense.
Pretty easy.
Yeah, pretty easy. I mean, the Baron fight wasn't easy, though. Should we take a look at that?
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened. I didn't really see it, actually.
We need to go back to it.
Well, it's what you mentioned earlier, where you started Baron, things get a little bit awkward, Malrang ends up flashing out. And now, in just a moment, things get a bit crazy, Heretics take over, and yeah. What are the comms like in this stressful moment?
There was not very clear comms. It was pretty messy, right? Because it was very random that we wanted to sneak Nash and then they just took it over, and we were not in position to like really contest because we were like having bot side with the Freeman, because we were like trying to act like a contesting Drake and then sneak Nash. So it was really bad call in the end.
Well, what about after Baron? You know, when they got it and everything went wrong. Like, what was the game plan from there? How are you guys planning on slowing things down?
Yeah, I mean, we at least got like the third Drake, so we had the Soul Point, which is always like very strong on stage, especially. It's just such a big pressure on enemy team. And also, I felt like I was not really worried because they couldn't really do much with the Nash. We could just stall, and we're still scaling really well. So it was just going to be about the Drakes.
How are you organizing yourself in the team fights? Because you've got 3 incredibly strong carries in the game there. I'm just wondering, how are you prioritizing things?
Yeah, we just try to spot the Inter and kill the Inter.
Pretty straightforward.
Fair enough. I'm interested, I guess, in the Koi identity now, because it's fair to say that this year hasn't necessarily gone as you've wanted it to, and now you're needing to find what works in these final crucial best of ones, because we are now halfway through. Obviously, brilliant that you're getting the win today, but what exactly is the plan going forward, I guess? What have you discovered about yourself in the last week that makes you think, yeah, we can go forward and go to the group stage?
Mainly, there's a lot of pressure right now on us, because if you be like bottom 2, then you're out and the season is just over. Like in start of July, the season is just over. So there's a lot of pressure right now. But we're just trying to like set down our drafts very well, not like do any stupid things. Because we need to win, like every game is like a final toss. So yeah.
Yeah. Are you having fun?
No, it's a very stressful format if you're like down in the trenches. So not having too much fun right now, but hopefully soon when we solve this situation. And I'm very happy with the big win today.
Well, if it's so stressful, like what are you focusing on going into tomorrow to make sure that you can still perform at your best?
You just need to analyze any team very hard. I try to do like work as hard as I can to not give anything to like luck. I'm just giving it my all, and I just don't want anything to come down to luck and just flip anything. Yeah.
And you feel happy about playing SK tomorrow?
I don't really care who we play.
As long as you win.
Yeah, sure.
Larssen, thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations for the win today. We are going to head to a break because you can see SK are set up on stage and they are raring to go. So maybe we'll call this one a warm-up. We'll see you after the break.
Level 3 stage gang. This has become
flashing out to safety. 2, 3, looking for 4. That's going to be a stun. Should be a first blood.
In 5 seconds, Chisante can TP. You can TP now.
A block.
Chisante can TP now.
No,
Yeah, top can TP.
Has flash soon.
He's TP. Try and get out.
They're TPing Gwen. Good. Okay, nice.
3K, it's getting lower. Malrang, is it the longest con we've ever seen? Conk now going to get knocked up on the backside. There's not a ton of follow-up damage with the back. Also going to hit immediately.